All right, my friends. Good morning. It's that time again. Well, actually, technically, it's good afternoon. But yes, 12 p.m. Eastern time, we are now live. And a big narrative that people are sleeping on that just continues to take the crypto gaming space by storm is nodes. And I don't know if y'all know, but we are the king of nodes. Long live the king of nodes. And, I've been doing pretty damn well with this stuff for quite some time. Right now, we're making somewhere around $5,000 per month. Obviously, there's been a correction in the markets. So, at some point, we were making probably like closer to $10,000 per month. But obviously, market fluctuations will make different returns at different times. So I'm going to be breaking down the crypto nodes that I am looking at for this month specifically. I recently made a Twitter thread on it. Obviously, you could probably just go through the Twitter thread and then you'd be done with it. But I'm going to be going through my mindset when I got into these things and personally what I would be probably getting into if I had no crypto nodes and I wanted to go ahead and get started with crypto nodes. My strategy behind it. If I had $1,000, if I had $10,000, if I had $50,000, you know what I mean, right? So we're going to be breaking down that and more. What's good, Alpha Bravo? Buenos dias, Chucho. Ya tu sabe. What's good? Good morning. So here it is. I have almost $100,000 in crypto gaming nodes. We're currently making 5K per month, and here's the breakdown. Here are my current node plays, and you all pretty much know them for the most part. I've got Playable right here, which is the big boy. It's the big boy. Trust me. When I got these nodes, though, they were not worth this much. When I got them, they were way cheaper. So we got 8 of these nodes, and right now they're producing some around, like 1,917 per month. We got Millionaires, which the Millionaires we bought. I'll be honest with you. I bought these in 2022. And I had to wait. I had to wait an entire year before I was able to actually use them. So yeah, that was a very spicy time in my life for sure. But we've actually broken even on these things already. Myria nodes have been doing really well because when these nodes launched, the price of Myria actually went down quite a bit and it 10x'd in a very short period of time. That's the easiest breakdown of what happened here. Like it went down. We had a bear market and then all of a sudden the market's become alive and everybody's just talking about Myria right now, right? And then we've got Asanas, which is Sonorous. The token's doing pretty right? But I chalk it all down to I did the same with Myria, so I'm completely cool with these tokens being corrected, especially considering the market conditions right now. And the last thing is Go mining. No, Go mining is where I'm doing my Bitcoin mining right now. These are obviously doing very well because Bitcoin is doing extremely well right now. So imaginably so, Go mining is going to be doing well. I don't get my rewards in their token though. I don't. I get my rewards in Bitcoin. If I'm going to go ahead and get a Bitcoin miner, I am going to mine Bitcoin. It's simple as that. You can mine their token, which, I mean, it's up 145% on the year. But let's be honest, in the past year, Bitcoin is also up 100%, which is perfectly fine for me. So in total, I think we're earning like 4,200 or something like that per month. I don't know. I can't do the math off the top of my head, but somewhere around there with the current market conditions kind of correcting. And I will be talking about this because I got a lot of my nodes during market corrections. That's simply put. I don't like buying nodes when the markets are really hot because then you'll get situations like, excuse me, I'm still a little sick. We'll get conditions like the Sonorous one where it launched and they just immediately dumped, right? Because the markets were feeling super toppy in the crypto gaming space and SocialFi, etc. And then we had a market correction right after the launch. So it feels weird. It's not great. Bitcoin right now is at $41,800. It is what it is. And I'll talk about the Meta X seed node sale as well because I'm going to be covering it in this video. So with these nodes being said, I'll tell you why I got into each of them. So in terms of Playable, a Playable is a suite of games. They are going to be developing 5 games every single year. And from what I can see, they've got Nexus, War of Steel, Dogs of War, Starving Martian, Ordinum. The favorite from the developers is Dogs of War, which I assume is probably going to be coming out next year. But by the time I got these nodes, God, I'm so sick. Okay, anyway, so they've got Nexus here. That was actually launched, and you can play this right now. There is a play to earn component where you can earn the playable tokens by playing Nexus right now. So with the product shipped, they were at an absurdly low market cap. I mean, we're like a $4 million market cap, and obviously Playable is in a very different state right now. They're at a $25 million market cap. I wouldn't say it's like the latest thing in the world, but it's definitely a different situation. We got in around August. So what ended up happening here was that I noticed that they were going to be doing a sale. And typically speaking, when sales happen, there's an influx of people that are interested in an ecosystem if the sale is done right. What they ended up doing was that they were offering these nodes for 50% off, and then also giving incentives to the people that already own the current nodes. So people were buying nodes, which were around $4,400 for $2,200. And obviously, there was a ton of interest in them. The Avalanche gaming narrative was beginning to kick up because around the same time, Avalanche was starting to move a lot. And so when you look at the reason behind doing something like this, you've got to think, if Avalanche is going to be one of the major narratives for crypto gaming in 2024 to 2025, then I want to have some sort of long-term exposure to something in the Avalanche sphere, right? So what my exposure was Playable. I decided that, I mean, that's a pretty damn good deal. And clearly it was, because the nodes right now are $6,500 a piece, right? So the token's done incredibly well as a result. A ton of hype has come. And when they do a lot of these node sales, they get a lot of money. When you get money, you can fund more things, because the runway was running a little bit shorter on the end. So now they're doing great. They're wonderful. We all love them. That's why I got into Playable. So next one is Myria. Why did I get into Myria? Now, Myria is like the indie game god right now. They have a bunch of indie games that are building in Web3. They're giving the technology to be able to do this. You know, they've got their own chain, zero gas fees, 9,000 transactions per second. I don't know how many transactions per second they're actually doing right now, but they pretty much have no gas fees. I've used the platform before, so I can be a testament to this. Why I ended up grabbing these Myria nodes is because they seemed like the little baby brother of Gala. And from what I can tell, at least, Gala nodes have not been a profitable thing for a very long time. I mean, Gala nodes, they kind of fell off the map, and then nothing ended up happening there. So what I thought was going to happen was that a lot of the Gala people were going to get frustrated, and they were going to move to the next best thing, which is Myria. And I was right. I mean, that's exactly what they did. They all just, the second this thing launched, they went ahead and waited until this bull cycle started and just all came over here. What's good, Smiling? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. So this was a pretty damn good one. It was like, at the time when I bought it, it was a 500-day ROI. And then it went all the way down. It went down a lot, by the way, to like a, what was it, like a 5,000-day ROI, which I wouldn't have suggested anyone buy nodes at this price point. But the thing is, I'm not buying a node because of the current price point. I would buy a crypto gaming node because of what I would expect the price to be at some point. And so I expected this obviously to go ahead and bounce back once we had a little mini bull cycle, because I think crypto gaming is going to lead the bull run in the cycle, which so far we've been correct, but I don't know if we're going to be correct long term. It doesn't really matter though, because we accumulated when the bear market was hitting, and we accumulated tokens all throughout this. So by the time this token actually ran, I had over $10,000 worth of rewards just because I was holding when nobody else was running these nodes, because it just wasn't very profitable to do so. So that was Myria. Myria made a lot of sense to me, and that was that. So in terms of, I'll talk about cornucopias as well. It's also in this video. So Sonorous here, the reason we got into this one is because these were selling out really fast, very fast. And they were doing a big thing on the SocialFi narrative. If I actually go to their network right now, you will see yourself that they have sold over 10,000 nodes, which is kind of the threshold for when these things got more expensive. They used to be like $600. Now they're like $880 if you try to buy them. So that's why they're selling a lot slower. The token price also hasn't been doing the best. But the idea was that they have a lot of connections for centralized exchanges. They are selling a heck of a lot of nodes. They have millions of dollars raised. And they have a SocialFi platform that has a decent amount of people using it. So that is the justification for getting Sonorous nodes, especially at the prices that they were at the time, which was like $600. We ended up grabbing 11 of them, which it sounds like a lot, but I mean, for how much they costed, it wasn't really that many. And So the idea is that eventually, this thing's going to bounce back once the hype for SocialFi comes back, and we're going to be doing pretty damn well because they're one of the most used dApps in SocialFi, and they're still getting centralized exchange listings. So it's obviously betting on that. It's kind of like how we did with Myria. Obviously, there's a chance we just die and never come back, but I'd rather hold a node than hold a token at this point. Because if a token goes down 50%, there's no such thing as DCAing. If this thing goes down 50%, but I keep earning tokens, I'm still getting closer to my ROI. It's still happening. It's just going to take longer. So if you have long-term conviction for these things, it just makes sense. So we ended up grabbing that. Hi, Jesus. Can I ask you what kind of video mixer you use? Video mixer? What do you mean video mixer? Like audio interface? If you're asking me for audio interface, I use a SSL2 solid state logic. That's what I use. And then, I have, my little cable, and then I've got my Shure SM7B, and I'm using Streamlabs right now. I hope that helps. But anyway, so getting into it more, Go mining. I actually got into this one very recently. These are pretty much buying like little pseudo shares of Bitcoin miners that are physical. If you're in a country that cannot run Bitcoin miners affordably, electricity is too expensive, aka you live in a first world country, right? May or may not be me, then you're going to have to pretty much, if you want to get into Bitcoin mining, get these or get into solar energy. So I ended up getting these. It's just some small exposure into Bitcoin miners. Obviously, some people, $5,000 is like, oh my God, that's all my net worth. But some people it's not. You don't have to put $5,000 in. I know that they literally have these nodes for like $30 or something, or $16. But obviously, you're going to earn $16 in a year. Are you really going to wake up for that? I don't know, but it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the most boring asset in the world. But I had all this exposure to all these risky things, right, over here, that I was like, I want to do something a little bit boring. So I went ahead, did that boring thing, and that boring thing was Go mining. So I went ahead, grabbed that. They've got these things that go by terahertz, and they've got energy consumption, which you pay every day before you get your rewards. And it's just, it's pretty simple, $300 a month. I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, next thing, upcoming node plays. This is probably what you're here for. Now, these are the node plays that I am more than likely going to be getting into. Not 100% though. I will be talking about that more. But the first one is MetaXseed. Now, MetaXseed, I am actually working with. I am an advisor for MetaXseed. If you're going to talk to me about MetaXseed nodes, well, my TLDR of MetaXseed nodes is that if you can get into them during the community private sale-ish thing, right, where it's $2,000 instead of $4,000, your risk to reward is pretty damn good. It really is. Because once public sale comes and these things are $4,000, that is double the price of what it was. So it goes from affordable to like, okay, now this is a node. It costs like a node. So if you can get into those node sale rounds, good for you. I'm not doing any of them myself. I don't believe in pretty much grabbing your funds and holding them. I think it's really weird and it makes me feel weird, really shady. So I'd rather not. You guys can go ahead, figure it out. Maybe someone else is doing it. But if you can get into that, that's great. A MetaXseed makes sense for me because they have a million different games, or they've got like 30 different games. They have a layer 1 blockchain, marketplace, merch, all kinds of stuff. They're packed with utility, a ton of these things. Their fully diluted value is not very high. I'm not uncomfortable when I think of their fully diluted value. So it just makes sense for me. They have products that have shipped out already. So they've proven that they can do them. Obviously, they're not the best games in the world. It's not like I'm like looking at AAA games when I'm looking at MetaXseed, at least for now. But they're really solid games. So I figured it was worth the risk. It reminded me a lot of Myria. And it also reminded me a lot of Zai. The reason we didn't end up getting into Zai was because when I talked to them, they said that my country wasn't supported. So I literally couldn't claim rewards with Zai. So I ended up passing on Zai, unfortunately for me, because Zai has been absolutely killing it. And the people that had the nodes also got an airdrop, which is another benefit for holding nodes, right? You can get airdrops for holding nodes really early on. Holding nodes later on in the cycle, not as profitable at all. But if you get on them pretty much at launch, you're going to be pretty happy. So I've got exposure to MetaXseed nodes already. And 100% I'm planning on covering them in the future. It's not clear. Oh, sorry, it wasn't clear. So you use Stream Deck to switch. Oh, yeah. I do use a Stream Deck, yeah. And so which software do you use to stream? I use Streamlabs. Yeah, I use Streamlabs to stream. And then see, like, I can just click this thing, just go over and over before I give you guys a headache. Anyway, so the next one was Cornucopias. Cornucopias is doing file nodes. Very unique concept. pretty much it helps you download the game faster. That's it. That's the purpose of a file node. Now, cornucopias is a big game. I'm not going to lie. And if you look at other games like Fortnite, once you put enough DLCs and patches on them, they become really big. My Fortnite installation directory is like 60 gigabytes large, which is massive. So I figured it's an interesting concept. It's really cheap. They started off at $250. They have kind of run up over time, but these guys are going to be launching on Ethereum, which also offers you a pretty damn cheap price on these things. When they launch on Ethereum, I'm going to be grabbing them. Some people are saying, oh, but you could just go on a Cardano wallet. But nah, I'll just wait for the Ethereum one. What's the big deal? Just get them on Ethereum, right? So I think they have one of the best visually appealing games in the space. They are making a lot of updates every single month. So it's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer to take a risk on a $250 file node. Next one is Galaxis. Now, Galaxis, they're just a toolkit for creators. If you want to go ahead and make an NFT collection, you need to go ahead, hop on Galaxis, grab one of those little engines, or maybe you get those little launch keys and launch them. That's it. So if people are going to be using Galaxis, it makes sense. They have a decent amount of traction, nothing crazy here. But the idea was these things are like $777, so not that much risk to reward-ish. It's not the most amazing thing. So I looked into it. I wanted to see stronger sales. When these things ended up launching, though, I didn't see the strongest sales in the world. So I didn't end up grabbing any Galaxis engines. But if it ever comes to be that there's more hype for this ecosystem, then obviously it's going to be in my radar and I'm probably going to end up grabbing them. But as it stands, I just don't think that the sales data is strong enough for me to really consider this. You know, they have 961 engine nodes activated, which if we look at the math here, they've raised almost $1 million, which is pretty good. It's not bad, but it's not what I was looking for. It's not what I was looking for. So we'll see what happens here, but I'm just looking at it right now. And then Hytopia, they went ahead and right here, they have a coming high chain node sale inspired by Gala Games. And these guys have 600,000 unique users that visited their products back in 2023, which is a lot of people. A lot of people are looking at this stuff. They have a lot of Topia tokens, which does exist, right? You can look up Topia yourself. And this has a $50 million market cap right now. So this is already a proven product that is, I mean, hitting fresh all-time highs practically. It's been pretty damn stable. They're going to be allocating a lot into this node ecosystem. So node operators, they should be happy. They're having a node key sale to help bring an influx of revenue to fund games. That is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what most of these node sales are anyway. So they're thinking of having this node sale in February to March. I'm definitely going to be grabbing these 100%. I think it's worth the risk. They already have a $50 million market cap. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me. Kind of a no-brainer. You know about Metafight? Nope. Do the file nodes have value because you need to upgrade with the game to download? Sorry if this is a silly question. Oh no, 100%. So the file nodes, the entire idea is that when people download this thing, right, there is an amount of the copy token, which is the cornucopias token, that is allocated specifically to reward people that are helping the ecosystem with those little file nodes. So you would run them on this thing called the VPS, which is literally just like another computer. It's a virtual private server. Super complicated. Just think of it like another computer that just runs in the background. And this thing will just run, and whenever someone downloads the game, it'll help them download it in little chunks. So it'll download bytes of the game, and all these file nodes will come together to help you download the game faster. A percentage of the copy allocation, so the amount of copy tokens out there, will just be going to people that have file nodes. So it's just simple as that. Most of these ecosystems are the same, where as you can see here with the little Topia token, they just reallocate it from other places and just give it to node operators to incentivize you to actually run these. Because if you had to run a VPS and you weren't making money off your file nodes, then it just wouldn't make any sense to have, right? Obviously. It's just like Playable. Playable, it's the same. Right now, you don't have to run an actual physical node or VPS because it's just not really profitable to do. They're probably going to start doing it pretty soon as the token price runs up. But it's pretty simple for now. I imagine that the people making the most money with file nodes are people that buy multiple of them, because from what I can recall on their video when they were testing it, you could run up to, it was like 20 of these nodes in a single instance. So you'd probably want to run multiple nodes in a single instance versus running one node in a single instance, because you're paying the same price to essentially run the same thing. It's just you're running less of it. So obviously it's going to take longer for you to get ROI. We have to see the actual earnings when they come out, right? When people are using them, but that's all the details we have right now for it. And the next one is Shrapnel. Now Shrapnel is doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something, and I definitely want to get a part of it. I saw some people talking about rounds for Shrapnel nodes. I don't know what they are. Another one that people are talking about now is like Gonzilla. Like, is Gonzilla doing crypto gaming nodes? I think they're doing them, and if they are, then I sure as hell want to be a part of it. They are talking about it for Off the Grid. Off the Grid is going to be one of the top games in the crypto gaming space this year for sure. No doubt about it. Like, they had Dr. Disrespect, Clicks, and Imperial Hall playing the game in September. They've got the connections to make this work. The game already looks good. I mean, I could just pause over here, maybe hop on over here. You could see it yourself. It looks good. It's a sexy little game. No complaints here. Obviously, I think they were fighting like bots or something, but the game looks pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to when this game comes out because I think it's going to be a banger. So if they have nodes, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it for sure. How's it going, Rashad? And then obviously, you know, I've got affiliate links, blah, blah, blah there in the description if you guys want to check it out. But that's not why we're here. And so that is the TLDR of my current thoughts for crypto gaming nodes. The next part of this is if I did not own any of these, because that's the more realistic thing, right? Most of you probably don't own any crypto gaming nodes. Then what would I do? What would I do? What crypto nodes would I be looking at? Well, if I had $1,000, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I would not buy a crypto gaming node because I believe that you should take the short-term risk. At least this is, okay, by the way, none of this is financial advice. I'm just talking out of my ass here, and this is just my opinion on things and what I would personally do. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. So if I had $1,000, I would probably just buy a token. I would literally just buy a token. I wouldn't buy a crypto gaming project per se. Like I wouldn't go and buy like an Illuvium. I think that the risk to reward is just not worth it for something like Illuvium. If you wanted to play it really safe, really, really safe, then something like Beam or Illuvium would make sense. Like really, really, really safe. You could, sorry, not Illuvium. Beam or Immutable Blacks. There it is. My brain's not working right now. Anyway, so these are good. I mean, you could even buy like Ron. Ron just crossed over $2. Look at this thing. Sexy little token. Looking like it's going straight to all-time high. So those are pretty good if you're not taking much risk. If you're a degen, if you're someone that does not believe in risk tolerance, then I would click the tag gaming and I would sort it through the top 24-hour gainers or the top 7-day gainers, do some research on them and figure out what the heck you should get into. If you wanted me to just throw something at you, I really like Prime. I think that Treasure is going to have a massive comeback this year. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm pretty damn sure randomly out of nowhere, Treasure is just going to start pumping again. Another one, WeMix, Korean studio. I think WeMix is going to be doing pretty good. I think Big Time's interesting if you're participating in spaces, if you're buying spaces or renting spaces, and you're going ahead and dismantling cracked hourglasses. Big Time could be pretty good. GameSwift, I think, is going to kill it. I mean, we've invested in this from like 11 cents to 54 cents. So we've already 5x on this one. I don't know if I get into Axie Engine. No. Going down. Veracity, no. Maybe Katana. Cetify, I like Cetify. Decimated, I also like. Shrapnel, I like. I also like. D-Race is pretty interesting. Nakamoto, they had a really big run, had a correction, might have a little bit of a comeback here. I like Senate and Citus. Senate and Citus also look good. Wagme, I think, is going to perform well. Playable, I think, is going to perform well. Just tons of random coins that are very high risk, but high reward when the market turns. Now, what I will say is if I had this $1,000, I would not throw it all right now because what I think is going to happen here is we're in a limbo state. We don't know where Bitcoin's going to go. I don't think we're going much lower, but I could be wrong. So maybe 42,000 isn't the bottom, right? I mean, we just hit 41,000. So right now, you know, altcoins are bleeding quite a bit. If we look at the top crypto gaming tokens portfolio, it's been like bonk. It's just sad right now. So I would DCA for sure. I would put, if I only had 1K, probably like 200, 200, 200, 200 every month, right? Until you waste the $1,000 and then boom, you've got $1,000 invested. And then I would kind of do that with everything. If I had $10,000, now we're getting into the, I've got actual capital to invest into crypto gaming nodes. Then I would look into new launches. because I don't have enough money to actually just buy a playable node because it's $6,000. I've wasted all of my capital here. I'm done. No, I'm not going to do that. What I would do is that I would look into the upcoming node plays, because upcoming tokens, upcoming nodes, they tend to have a lot of hype on them, tend to be easier to trade. You know, I'd look into MetaXseed, Cornucopias, Hytopia, Shrapnel, Gunzilla, the ones that I talked there before. If you can get there on launch, if you can get there real cheap, then you're probably going to be pretty happy. You also, when you're owning nodes, you want to have exposure to the token as well, because you want to have exposure to the upside as well as everything in between. The long term, the short term, that's what you want. So if you're getting into something like Cornucopias that is practically at all-time high, just had a fresh correction that went like 50% or something like that, then you obviously want some of the tokens, because the nodes were selling at 250 here, and now they're selling more expensive down here. So you want to grab the tokens down here, and then maybe just take some of the profit and buy a node up here. Right? Simple as that. Don't complicate it. If you have $50,000, then hell yeah, you can buy nodes all day. It doesn't matter if it's playable or the other one. As long as the node ROI is lower than 365 days at the time of purchasing, then it makes a lot of sense rationalizing as well as calculating, you know, the market cap that you think this thing can hit. Maybe look at some comparisons as to other node ecosystems and what they have done during certain times of cycles. Because just because you're a metaverse play, it doesn't mean that you could hit the sandbox market cap. If you don't have nearly as many partnerships and you're in a legacy crypto that's been around forever, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the sandbox. But maybe there is like a knockoff sandbox that you think that this other metaverse token can hit. So you're like calculating node ROI based on what if it hits half of that market cap or a third of that market cap. Very happy camper. That's what I did with Playable, right? So our node ROI is significantly lower than it was when we bought it, right? The Cornucopias node's releasing on Cardano and Ethereum. Well, it's released on Cardano, but it's not released on Ethereum yet. I was looking to get a Gala Founders node. Oh, I mean, now you're protected from lawsuits. Shut up, Slim Cheese. I'm not telling people to buy anything. I'm just telling people my experience. But I was not lucky enough to get a Gala Founders node, so unlucky for me, but I am lucky enough to get playable nodes and Myriad nodes and all these other nodes for cheap, so I'm not complaining. I really am not. I may have missed out on the 2021 bull cycle for the most part. I got pretty good returns off of SLP and AXS. I'm not mad at all about what happened here. I'm frustrated. I covered this. My most popular video is me dunking on SLP, which was my top investment at the time. I was dunking all over. I'm not scared to dunk on these things, but it made sense. You know, I was right. It did end up going down 98%, and I don't imagine this thing's just going to randomly come back up. It is what it is, right? But, you know, we all get in different times. I mean, I wish I was here in 2012. You know, I was 12 years old, though, so I don't know. I don't know how many nodes or anything I would have grabbed. I don't even know if nodes, maybe they existed, like Bitcoin miners. I mean, I would have gotten a few GPUs. USB sticks, mine some Dogecoin, you know? But yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with where I am. I don't feel like FOMO where people are like, oh, but you missed Gala nodes. Yeah, I missed Gala nodes, but I've already gotten some pretty serious gains off some of these other nodes. So I'm very happy with these. And I'm sure that, you know, some of these upcoming nodes at some point will probably beat out some of the current node plays that I have right now, which is part of it all. Dollar cost averaging in the industry. So I guess the last question would be, how much do I want to put into crypto gaming nodes? And the answer for this is, I don't know. I mean, right now we have, I think it's somewhere around like $80,000 to $90,000 in nodes right now, which is a lot. It really is a lot. And it's starting to get to the point where net worth to nodes, it's getting a little bit like iffy for me. So I don't know if I'm going to be grabbing nodes as aggressively as I did back in the day. But I do think that I want to end this bull cycle, hopefully, right, fingers crossed, with like 250 to 500,000 in nodes and hopefully like more than 1 million in tokens. I would be very happy with that. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen. I think that's just me doing copia, right? But if I can keep that token to node ratio stable, then I'm going to be very happy. So obviously I'm going to get into all these nodes as they come out and everything I can. I mean, one of them that's coming up is the Jan token. The Jan token for Storm Warfare is coming really, really soon. I'm actually really hyped about this. And I'll disclose here, I am working with Storm Warfare, right? But I actually like this product. I played in their tournament. in the actual like tournament for Storm Warfare. They didn't pay me to do that. I actually genuinely enjoyed the game. And so they're having an NFT release, which I ended up winning because I played in their tournament, in the little community public tournament that happened there, which is why I played an airdrop I think is going to make people millions of dollars. It's probably going to make me a couple $1,000 just because I ended up playing this video game for like 10 hours. So I'm not complaining at all. But they're going to have an IGO release, and I'm sure a lot of these tokens that have these IGOs, what will happen is something very similar to Inspect, where in the beginning, they're going to go ahead and pump to the moon and then immediately die, right? This thing went from like 19 cents to 32 cents all the way back down, and then it just died for a while, did nothing at 16 cents. And then it just decided, you know what, I'm just going to moon. I'm just going to moon again, and then it's at 32 cents. So these IGOs and IDOs and ICOs, whatever you want to call them, they are going to pump a lot in the beginning, but it's too unstable to trade. I would wait for all of these TGEs. If you can, wait for at least a month, two weeks to a month after the token is released for the prices to stabilize. If you're seeing this, then you're good. You're kind of set to dollar cost average into something. If it gets really boring, like, I don't know, when Miria was just dead, I swear to you, it was just dead for half a year. This is the time to DCA into these things. You don't want to DCA up here. It doesn't make any sense. At that point, you might as well just buy the node or just not get into the ecosystem. So it's kind of like Gala Founders nodes. Why would you buy one right now when, you know, the token is in the gulag? It just doesn't make any sense, right? You'd much rather buy the token and accumulate when this thing's down in the dumps, if it does end up coming back. I could talk all day about my opinion on Gala. I made a Twitter thread on Spider Tanks. Just have to pay respects for this poor little token called Silk. Just, it was an honor. It was an honor. It really was an honor. I think I still have like 3,000 of these tokens, which, how much is this worth right now? $70. No. I just got completely obliterated. Oh no. I swear to you that was worth more. That was worth more at some point, but whatever. Anyway, so that's how you play IGOs. That's how you play node sales. You want to be in early. For actual token launches, you want to be a little bit late. You want to be at least a month late. You might be wrong in timing, but from what I've found, you're a lot better off just doing that. How you doing, Cat Mew? Send nodes. Oh, sus. Back at it. Xverse. Oh, I've heard of Xverse. So Xverse is having their IDO. Oh, have I not heard of Xverse? Wait. There's too many projects in this world. Okay, so I'm following them. All right, so I do understand them. So, okay, so they're having their little IDO soon. I remember this project. I do. It had this big open world, and they were just people shooting each other. It had like the Lyra assets, and that was kind of it. I hate when these games do this thing where it's just a trailer and they don't show the actual gameplay. I know there's gameplay for this thing, but it should be on the pinned tweet. I shouldn't have to look through all this just to find gameplay. But it looks cool. Looks cool. So they're hopping onto ChainGPT. I'm a little bit mixed on ChainGPT. I mean, I'm in the group, right, for ChainGPT. I look at it every now and then, but I've never really invested in anything in ChainGPT because it just feels weird. I don't feel that comfortable investing into ChainGPT stuff, but I'm there. Maybe I'll do my first one, but that's kind of my thought on it. I'm much more comfortable getting into stuff on Seedify than I am on stuff on ChainGPT, just because I already have that level of trust built up with Seedify. I've invested into Seedify stuff before and done very well, so I'm comfortable with it. Like, for example, Animalia, we got the NFT mints for, I think it was 0.075 Ethereum at mint. We got 2 of those, and they went ahead, and by the time they minted out, I sold them at 0.14 to 0.18, somewhere around that range. I ended up selling them at, so like double-ish floor price. So I'm already comfortable with that game. And then Bloodloop, obviously Bloodloop's going to kill it, right? Storm Warfare is obviously going to kill it. Metadose, I don't know. I don't know anything about Metadose. Haven's Compass is probably going to kill it. It looks pretty damn good, right? Look at the gameplay. Please show me the gameplay. Don't make me look stupid. Okay, maybe these people don't like showing gameplay or what? Gunsmithing. Okay, it looks like this, right? That's how the gameplay looks in the game. It looks pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Shrapnel. A lot of Shrapnel. And then we have Evermoon, which I don't know much about. We have Haunted Space, which some people are hyped about, but I don't know much about. And then Space Mavericks, which I know almost nothing about, which I'm still doing my research on. But a lot of these are good. A lot of these are good, which I'm happy with. What's up, sir? Feeling better? I am feeling better, 100%. Go Gala note owners. Such a great community. My friends. The Gala note holders need to riot. That's what they need to do. They need to riot against the dictatorship that's currently happening in Gala. I swear to God. Things need to start happening, guys. I've been looking for news on Gala for the longest of time, right? At this point, if you look at the Gala Twitter, look at this. We've got the Walking Dead Empires, just some people playing the Walking Dead Empires, right? That work there. And then we've got the devs playing Last Expedition. Look at this thumbnail, bro. Look at this thumbnail. What is this? Who made this? Who made this? I could make this in less than 5 minutes. What is this? And then just another stream, Common Ground Town Hall. Why is no one breaking this down on Twitter? And then we have echoing some entertainment on Echoes of Empire. Yeah, but what does this even mean? Like, can someone explain this on Twitter? And then them retweeting this thing on Miranda's. What is this, Grady? What is this, Grady? What I learned from this? I don't know what I learned from this. I didn't grow up on these streets. I'm gonna be honest. And then what is the best part of Gala Chain? Faster than Solana? What does that even mean? How are you faster than Solana? I don't know if you're faster than Solana. Solana's pretty fast, you know? I've used Solana, and I don't have any complaints with Solana. Projects cannot DDoS. Is that true? Projects get gas fees? Okay. I mean, you can make a subchain, right? But there's no information here is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing here. I'm not learning anything. Let's go to another Twitter. I don't know. Let's think of another ecosystem. I don't know. Let's look at Shrapnel. Let's see what Shrapnel is doing, right? What is Shrapnel doing with their social media management? They have a $3 million tournament here pinned on the top. They've got gameplay here 41 minutes ago. They retweeted some people within the community a couple times, which I respect, right? Ton of people in the community. Reposting different things that they're doing, featuring Shrapnel. They're doing spaces all over the place. You know, you got more retweets. Then they have an escape room on Fortnite, which they did a Shrapnel thing on there. You're telling me that Gala with $700 million can't do this? Like, come on. You're joking. This is all in a day. All of this is in a day. Come on. Who grew up on those streets? Who belongs to the streets? You belong in a museum. Respectfully, what the hell is this? Like, I mean, you know what? Everybody go on Twitter right now. I'm going to do the Cajun here. I'm now the self-proclaimed social media manager for Gala at Gala Games. I have now done more marketing than the actual Gala Games social media has done in its lifetime in probably 10 minutes. Breaking news. We're gonna start a fucking civil war here. Hold on. Explosion emoji. Boom, a firecracker. And then, oh, no. We need to do this. We need to do this well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you all how to use Photoshop here. This is massive pump incoming. Hold on. I'm going to go on my Photoshop here, and I'm going to show you all how I do this stuff in real time. So we need to grab a picture here. And this picture needs to be sexy, right? So we're going to grab a picture here. Maybe I'll do my little, you know, and I'm going to go, oh, we could be cringe. Oh God, how dare he? Or we could be happy. We could be happy that we're doing this role. So let's say I am happy, right? So I'm going to cut myself out here. And I am going to put the Gala logo next to me, right? So we're going to go to editing, click on Gala. Not the cringe bait. We need the cringe bait, okay? More cringe bait is good. So we're going to go ahead and put some drop shadow on it to make it pop out a little bit, okay? Doesn't look beautiful, but it's going to have to do with this live stream. Oh my God, this is breaking news. Breaking news with Gala. And then we're going to put a little bit of a background here because it's Twitter. We don't need to make it complicated. Maybe we'll do a little space background because we're going to the moon, guys. And we're going to add some blur on it so they can barely see it. And I need to pop out a little bit more. I do need to pop out a little bit more. So I'm going to put some white on myself, put the opacity down, the spread. You've now learned how to do Photoshop, and you will be going straight to the moon. How to make a viral meme 101. Boom. And then put it on your downloads, and you're done. So now we need to grab this photo, and there we go. This is incredible. That is your TLDR of how to make something in less than 5 minutes. I'm telling you, I make these thumbnails in like breaking news time. I'm not a self-proclaimed social media. All right, whatever, dude. I'm just gonna fucking post it. I'm about to get a call from like 3 billion different people, but yes, this is my TLDR on nodes. My thesis on this stuff is that I still think that there's gonna be a run later this year. There's a lot of people talking about repos and a lot of different stuff coming in the macro economy and how it's so bad. But then there's also people in the CNBCs and the CNNs of the world that are just saying that they're just gonna print more money. I'm of the band camp that they're just going to print more money. I'm in the band camp that they're just probably going to print more money and these tokens are going to do well anyway. Now, if hopefully, like, let's do a petition here. Let's like press F in the chat for Gala's social media marketing. Hopefully they get some social media marketing done here. What do I think about portal nodes? I don't know what portal nodes are. Portal nodes. I'm going to put this up here just in case. I'm glad I did this because this is interesting stuff I'm looking at right now. So I don't know. I am of no opinion. Daddy Bit Better is calling. Dude, there was this one time that I made a video on Gala, right? And I said this one detail wrong. And then randomly out of nowhere, I get a fucking call from Bit Better. He's like, dude, what have you done? And I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? And yeah, that was wild. But how the fuck did he get my number? Anyway, so that was a very interesting time. And all I'm gonna say here is that if you guys are getting your news on Gala, you're probably getting it from me. You're probably getting it from me. I actually made this thread earlier, and it was talking about spider tanks because I'm malding, dude. I'm totally malding. This game is dead as hell, and it is the best game on Gala. This is easily the best game. They spent $1 million on spider tanks. Let me tell you that there was this huge debate back in early 2023 where people were dunking on this guy called On-Chain Gaming. I'm not going to say that he did good things because I'll be honest, you know, bribing, not very good. And pumping and dumping liquidity, also not very good after you upload a video. But I will say that $240,000 for marketing, not that crazy when you're spending $1 million on Spider Tank's YouTube ads, only to find out 90% of the new users did not get past downloading the launcher. Come on, dude. $1 million? Come on. No way. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so that's Gala there, and that's nodes. That's the risk of nodes as well. Sometimes they're not going to paint out the best. I remember that there were Spider Tanks nodes at some point. I didn't end up grabbing those nodes. I was thinking about it. I really was, but I just didn't know how long Spider Tanks would survive, so I wasn't sold on it. What I think is happening here with Gala is that the games that they've contracted, some weird stuff is going on there. I'm not going to touch them with my dollars. But the ones that they're building, maybe I'll risk some of my dollars for. I mean, I did it for the Miranda's Shipwreck boxes, and the Materium token, even to this day, is not terrible. It's not terrible. I got into this thing at like 11 cents when I bought the little box, and it's at 17 cents. So it's alive, right? Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of liquidity or volume, so I don't know if $10,000 can just dump this thing to oblivion. But for now, it's okay. So I'm okay with that. This time last year, Gala had a nice pump. It did, didn't it? It really had a nice pump. I remember that. I was no-lifing Gala back in the day. I had made videos on Spider Tanks. That's when I first started with Spider Tanks. And that was when The Rock and, Mark Wahlberg were making things on Gala Film. But it ended up being that The Rock wasn't actually making a film on Gala Film. It was The Rock and the Mark Wahlberg studios, like their movie studios, that were making films on Gala Film, which I don't know if those films have come out yet. I'm sure they're in development, and I'm sure that's still happening. But that's what I remember. Ended up sending Gala to like the stratosphere. We went to like 6 cents instantaneously. And then we kind of just dumped. I don't know what happened there, but we did really well right here. We were dying. It looked like nothing was ever going to come back. And then boom, we went all the way to almost 6 cents right there. And then we just went down and down and down and down as the bear market continued to do its thing. Portal Gaming knows. They're typing up that cease and desist. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Not a crypto. But yeah, that's gonna be the stream, guys. We're here for 44 minutes. Tomorrow we're gonna have a sponsored big time stream. I'm gonna see if they can give me some invite codes as well as some, you know, spaces. I'll see if I can do that. But that's gonna be fun tomorrow. Monday, it's gonna be chilling. Next Thursday, I'm gonna try to have someone very important on. So be there for that. But until the next time, guys, stay classy, and I'll see y'all on the next one before I just keep going off on these tangents.